Oh, finally. Well, if it is, I'm not hearing it.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, no wonder.
Welcome to the African American Museum Library. I'm Vita Silva, the Museum Project Coordinator, and it's indeed my pleasure to invite you to this outstanding event we have for you. We're taking some information from our archives. We'd like to share with our community some of the wonderful collections that are a part of the archive. So today, Oakland 7th Street. I'm really excited about it because when I first came here, I did some research on Oakland 7th Street, and the music was just fabulous. A lot of blues, a lot of jazz, whatever you wanted, you could find it there. But before we get into Oakland 7th Street, let me tell you a little bit about the history of this institution. We are a research institution for African American history and culture. 4 departments, we have a reference library, over 16,000 books on African American history and culture. We also have a rare book collection. I believe the oldest book is 1802. It is actually a journal of a Navy captain. No, he's not African American. However, he speaks about an African American ship that is on this major ship. So let's move to the archives department. We have pretty close to 200, maybe a little over 200 collections now. Collections like Maury Turner from the Weepels, legendary design, the legendary cartoonist. And of course, we have Ron Dellums, his collection here as well. When he was in Congress for 23 years, we have the Black Panthers original newspapers, and we also have some digital footage that you probably have never seen before. Now, that's just to name a few. I would add that we have Ida Jackson, the first African-American school teacher in the Oakland Unified School District. I can go on and on, but I don't want to take too much of your time because we have a great event scheduled for your pleasure. But before I pass this on to our library assistant, Marco, I want to show you a little bit of some of the wonderful designs from the collection of no other than Henry Delton Williams. We call him the designer to the stars. And so we just pulled a few of the items so you could sort of get the idea of what this man was all about. His vision, his creation, very creative mind, very talented. Right here, you're going to see, this is a gown that was originally designed for him, Henry, originally designed for Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Now, as you can see, I'm going to hold this up just a tad bit. This is pants. However, one leg is straight leg and the other has this beautiful, beautiful fabric here. But what makes this very, very unique is the hand beading on here, where Mr. Delton actually hand beaded all these jewels. Now the bustier, which is my favorite, because nowadays you can wear these kind of bustiers with your jeans or skirt or whatever that fits your fancy. And as you can see, can we bring this up close, Marco? And see this beautiful design with all these jewels. Now, I really don't know how long it took Mr. Delton to create and beat all this, but I know that it took some time. As you see here, you'll see some images of Martha Reeves, and these were signed to Henry Delton Williams. Now, he continued to actually design for Martha Reeves and pretty much still in contact with Martha Reeves of the Vandellas. I had the pleasure of meeting her here for an event. This is signed in 2013. Martha Reeves performed here at the African American Museum and Library. Now we're talking about Bay Area entertainers, stars. What about our own Lenny Williams? As you can see, this is a two-piece set that Henry designed. You'll see all this nice
hand beat it. This is the pants. This is actually the back of the jacket. And you can see that it is very special and unique, all hand stitched, our own Minnie Williams. Now, Henry not only just designed for Motown, we also call him the Motown legend designer. He designed for the Supremes. Also, in this collage here, the collage that you see here is all these, you'll see Henry here, this section here, Barry Gordy. These are actually individuals who are part of the Motown family. This actually is a print from a legendary artist called Ronald McDowell. And we're just so happy to have the print. And we also have one of his pieces here in our collection. Now, here we go in with, this is Luella. And as you can see, another bustier. She's from the Bay Area as well. You'll see all this beautiful beaded areas. Now, not only did he design for Motown, what about the movies? I guess, are you familiar with Fred Williamson? Henry Delton designed for major movies, and here's two right here. Adios Amigo and Mean Johnny Brown borrows. Okay, so this is what we call the designer to the stars. Right here, he is seen here. If you can see this jacket here, it's actually a suit, which he designed. We have that in our collection as well. Here, of course, you probably know who that is. That's Gladys Knight and also Frida Payne, who is actually, they are cousins. So that gives you a little bit of insight about the designer of the stars, what we have in the collection. And when you visit us, you'll see more collections that I'm sure that you're going to be interested in. So with that being said, I'd like to turn it over to Marco, our library assistant. We are going to give you a little stroll through 7th Street. I call it Oakland 7th Street. And this was the center of entertainment. And we're not only going to see a beautiful presentation from Marco, we're going to actually chime in and hear Henry Delton Williams is actually on the phone as I'm speaking now. So we have a lot of wonderful things in store for you. So keep focused. Here we go, Marco. Now, as Marco is just about ready to sign up with his PowerPoint, the Wi-Fi is a little slow today, so bear with us. We are now open to the public. So we're open every day except for Sundays and Mondays. And we open at 10 and we close at 5:30. Except on Fridays, we don't open until noon. So with these departments, I sort of missed one department. So I'm glad I had this little extra time. And that's the seed lending library. The seed lending library is where you can come and get your seeds for free and grow your seeds in small gardens or large gardens. And hopefully we're thinking that you will bring back some seeds and loan those to us. And that's why we call it the seed lending library. We continue to exchange the seeds. Now, the process is very easy. Once you walk in, you'll see some jars. Each jars are numerically on the front of the jar. They have numbers, I believe 1 through about 131, and they're in numerical order. You come in, you choose the seeds that you're interested in, pull those jars, and then you take those envelopes, and then you pour some seeds in a smaller envelope, making sure that you ID it. And then we'd like for you to put those jars back in numerical order. Of course, if you don't, it's okay. But you are welcome to come in here as long as we're open. And of course, we have non-GMO seeds as well as organic seeds. So we try to stay in the loop as far as our history and culture, not only with our reference library and our ebooks and our collection. We have this beautiful seed library who we're reaching out to the community. Come in, grow your seeds, healthy food, and bring some of those seeds back. So that gives you a little insight of what we're all about. And I think if we're ready to go, Marco.
Good afternoon, everyone, and again, welcome to the African American Museum and Library. I'm just going to give a short presentation on Oakland's 7th Street. So we called it a cultural and social scene. So the first screen that you see here, this is a picture of Slim Jenkins and his actual restaurant. He had a nightclub, a restaurant, a liquor store. So one of the businessmen of the 7th Street area. Now, 7th Street was also known as Baby Harlem, or the Harlem of the West. It became the center of Black entertainment and Black life during those times. There were blocks and blocks of African American businesses there. So you had not only nightclubs, but you had restaurants and other different organizations there. And many of the shipyards, ship workers, and the military workers that would get off the ships, they would actually come in to those establishments and patronize those businesses. Now, as far as the development of 7th Street, as America was pushed into World War II, plenty of jobs became available. And those jobs meant that many of the African Americans, not only were they escaping racism that was going on in the South, but they came for better opportunities. And those jobs end up being both in the shipyards and as Pullman porters. So with the creation of the Pullman car system, the decision was made to make Oakland the terminus point, so the end point of the train system. And one of the requirements of George Pullman and the Pullman Company was that the workers had to live in West Oakland. So those are one of the reasons why everyone ended up congregating and living there, so that if they were ordered to come to work for an unscheduled shift, they would be able to get there with relative ease. And of course, with those jobs meant that they were able to purchase homes and develop their own communities and things in that area.
Excuse me, I don't know if you can hear me.
Now,
but
this is where we get into the entertainment portion. So this here that you see here is Slim Jenkins. As again, he had a nightclub, a restaurant, a liquor store, all in that 7th Street area.
Pardon me, sir.
As a
Sir.
result,
There's a major echo.
one
You
moment.
guys have multiple devices going.
Okay, our apologies. We had a motorcycle rider driving down, so kind of had some background noise. But anyway, as I was saying, as African Americans came in, they created their own businesses along 7th Street. You had liquor stores, you had grocery stores, furniture stores, and many other different businesses that popped up in that community. And for decades, 7th Street was becoming a vibrant, active location for Black life and culture, most importantly, entertainment. Black businesses lined the streets during the day to to patronize those businesses. And then at night, that's when the nightlife actually occurred. One of those entrepreneurs again was Earl Slim Jenkins. He opened his restaurant the day of Prohibition actually ending. And his club became one of the dozens of clubs that was actually in that 7th Street West Oakland round.
Marco, sorry to interrupt you again, but there's about a 2-second.
There were many performers that actually performed at his business. These are some of the photos that you see here. Well, all of the photos that you see here actually come from our archives department. So this is from the Jenkins collection here. So you have people such as Jasbo Williams that you see here on the top left. The Hunter Trio, and other jazz musicians that would actually come and perform at his location. And basically, he migrated here from Louisiana to establish one of the premier spots here on 7th Street, and it lasted for over 20 years.
Stop.
Sir, please.
This is some of the different organizations
You can't
that
hear us.
actually patronized his establishment. And you can notice in the picture the elegant way that the people not only dressed, but the way that it was set up inside of the business.
Marco, once again.
Some of the entertainers that actually came to play at his establishment, you see here. So we have B.B. King, Dinah Washington, Duke Ellington, and Sarah Vaughan, and including Sammy Davis Jr. And the photo that you see here is of a group that actually performed there as well. So this comes from our archives department.
Marco, this is Bami Dele. You are
The next person
echoing.
that we have is Esther Margaret. So she was the owner of Esther's Orbit Room, which was also located on 7th Street. She migrated here from Texas. She saved up enough money and opened up Esther's Orbit Room, which was first known as Esther's Breakfast Room. She had worked as a waitress for Slim Jenkins for some time. And also she had other famous entertainers that actually came and played at her location as well, including Etta James and Bobby Boobland.
Excuse me, Marco. The sound is very, there's a huge major echo and we cannot understand anything you're saying.
Now, this here is one of the pictures that we
Oh
have
my
in
gosh.
our archives as well. This is a picture of Esther's Orbit Room, and this was from the Bay Area Blues. And then we have the decline. So the pictures that you see here, this is the Cypress Freeway. This was when it came down in 1989 in the Loma Prieta earthquake. But when they built this freeway, they built it in the West Oakland area, which meant hundreds upon hundreds of families and homes were basically decimated. So in order for them to make this freeway, they had to actually destroy it. Okay, one moment, please.
Sir, we're getting your echo from AAMLO. It's on simultaneously with you, and we can't really hear your voice and what you're saying. There's multiple audio sources running in your background, and you're getting an echo. Just like I'm getting an echo because my mom is in the other room watching the presentation on her computer.
Okay, just one moment. It seems like some people there's a technical issue that some people can't hear me. So I'm gonna check on some things and it's just gonna be one moment. Please hold on.
Okay, so now one can hear. This right here is something I don't want to do. We pushed it, but because I guess we pushed the wrong thing.
And now she's going over to Marco trying to figure it out. You get what I'm saying, right?
The computer that you were on, Vita, is the one that's still open. That's, we believe, is causing the feedback.
Sorry for the technical problem. The Wi-Fi down here at AMLO is down for a moment, and we're trying to reboot it. If we just a moment, I think that we'll be able to solve the problem. I'm sorry for that. But as we want you to definitely hear and see the information that Marco has on his PowerPoint. So if you bear with us just one more moment, we should have this up and running. In the meantime, I want to let you know that we have a lot of events coming up for September. And if you're not on our email list, then think about sending us your email, and then we can make sure that you're on our list. We also, I want to talk to you about AMLO opened in February of 2002. And I am so happy and excited to say that AMLO will have its 20-year anniversary, 2022. And it is going to be a very exciting year for us. And there will be different events going on during the course of the year in 2022. So you really do need to be a part of our e-blast. And also, if you're not a member of the Friends and Stewards of the African American Museum and Library, it's a good time for get your membership, because members have privileges. Members are VIPs. Not that we don't handle all our events to the utmost standards with everyone, but if you are a member, you definitely have VIP privileges. And with the 20-year anniversary coming up, you don't want to be left out of some of the activities that are going to be advertised as special invitation for VIPs. So keep that in mind. Remember, if you need more information with the Friends and Stewards of AMLO, they do have their website. Just go to Friends and Stewards of the African American Museum and Library. Now, if you need more information than that, you can always call us right here at the African American Museum and Library, and make sure you get on our list, because you'll get a monthly calendar.
And we are so happy to share that with you because you can put the events on your calendar and make sure you zoom in or do in person or perhaps both. So I hope that gives you a little bit insight and during this commercial break. And now I think we have solved the problem. So I will get back to Marco.
Okay. Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me, please? Okay. So again, apologize for the technical difficulties here. So as I was saying, welcome to our event today. And this presentation is what we call Oakland 7th Street, a cultural and social scene. And let me get back to the beginning here. Okay, so what you see on the screen now is a picture of Slim Jenkins restaurant. And as I was saying, this area was known as, to many residents, as both Baby Harlem and also the Harlem of the West. It became the center of East Bay Black life. There were blocks upon blocks of African-American businesses there in that area. It was aided by shipyards and military workers who would come and actually patronize those businesses. And what ended up happening is it created a neighborhood of middle-class neighborhoods. As America was pushed into World War II, that meant that plenty of jobs were actually available across the Bay Area. Many people moved to the West Coast because of those opportunities. The pictures that you see here are of the Pullman porters. So while some people ended up getting jobs in the Richmond shipyards, other people found work as Pullman porters. And with the creation of the Pullman porters, with the creation of the rail system, the decision was made to put the terminus point of the trains here in Oakland. So that meant that they needed workers, and that was one of the other reasons, other than the racism and things that were happening in the South, that people ended up migrating here. They needed to live in West Oakland also because when the boss decided they needed to come to work, they needed to be able to make it there and make it there as fast as they can. So that was one of the reasons they also ended up creating all their communities in West Oakland. And of course, you had redlining, which meant that there were certain locations in Oakland that you actually could not live at the time. Now, as far as the entertainment, and as a result of the racism and the redlining, we had these communities, Black communities that developed, and one of them, of course, was 7th Street. So we had liquor stores, restaurants, grocery stores, furniture stores that popped up in that area. And as you see here, we have Slim Jenkins. So this was Slim Jenkins Supper Club. He had a nightclub, a restaurant, a liquor store that was in that 7th Street era. And he actually opened that the day that Prohibition ended in 1933. So he was one of the dozens of different Black businesses that were established in that area. There were many performers that actually performed at his location. The pictures that you see here actually come from the archives department. So we have at the top Jazz Bo Williams, we have the Hunter Trio, and we also have other jazz musicians that actually performed in that area. Now, Jenkins actually migrated here from Louisiana to establish his business, and it was in business for over 20 years here. So a symbol, basically. He was also considered the unofficial mayor of West Oakland as well. There were many different organizations that used his establishment for different events and things that they had. So he played host to many events as well. And as you can see here, the elegant ways and things that the tables and things are, and also the way that the ladies here are actually dressed in their formal wear. Some of the people that actually performed at his location include B.B. King, the Ink Spots, Duke Ellington, Aretha Franklin, and Sammy Davis Jr. The photo that you see here is one from our archives department of people that actually performed there as well. Next, we have Esther's Orbit Room. So Esther Marbury, who founded Esther's Orbit Room, which was also on 7th Street. She came here from Texas. She saved up her money and she opened up her restaurant. She also worked as a waitress for Slim Jenkins for many years before she actually got her own restaurant and nightclub. And from the 1940s through the 60s, this area saw a lot of vibrant life, culture, and entertainment. And then the decline happened. So what ended up happening in that time is you had the post office that actually came. You had the post office that was built. You had the BART station that was actually built. There were many promises that many of the people in the neighborhood, so the African Americans in the neighborhood, would end up getting many of the jobs that were at the post office and things. However, that didn't actually come to fruition. So there were dozens and dozens of blocks of homes that people were actually displaced from for them to end up putting, again, the BART station and the freeway and the post office there. But the freeway is the one that did the most damage. And of course, as you see in the picture there from our archives, it actually came down in the '89 earthquake. So that is pretty much it for what I have for you. Again, apologize for the technical difficulties. I'm going to turn it back over to Vita Silva, and then we are going to go to Henry Delton Williams.
So I know you're really eager to meet Henry Delton Williams, so follow me over. I'm gonna go right over here to the archives department again. I know that he is eager to speak with you as well. Henry Delton Williams, he is, I believe that he came to Oakland when he is just 5 years old. And his experiences that he will share with you are pretty amazing. And you might be a little bit surprised of some of the things that he encountered as a young child. And when Marco mentioned about racism, and that there was a lot of that going on here. But keep in mind, 7th Street being the entertainment center of Oakland, not for the patrons and guests and community here, they were coming in and out of the different close areas in the Bay, but many African Americans came from the South. They came to the South because they could breathe. Not only could they get better jobs, they would be a part of that culture, the social culture, that social status of hanging out with 7th Street. With that, Mr. Henry Delton Williams, are you there? Can you hear me? Henry, we have you on the phone. Say hello.
So press *6, Henry.
All
How you
right.
doing?
Can you hear me?
Henry, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Take yourself off of mute.
Uh,
I can hear Mr. Henry.
So *6. Okay.
can you hear me?
Henry,
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I can hear you
Oh,
now.
great.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Vita, how are you?
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. Now that I can hear you, I
Great.
want to
Good.
thank you for spending some of your day with us today. We have quite a few people that are chimed in just to hear you. So
Oh,
I want to
great.
start
Love
off with Henry.
Yes.
I want to start off with, when did you actually come to Oakland?
Okay. First of all, let me thank the City of Oakland and the African American Museum, Vita and Marco, and all of the whole entire staff there. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak today. So, your question is when did I come to Oakland?
Yes.
Okay, that was around 1945. I was born in 1941. And my mother and father, and it was only me and my sister, Ann Williams at the time, caught the Santa Fe train to Oakland, California. It was part of the Great Migration to get away from the South and all of the Jim Crow and slavery and hangings that we experienced back there. And we landed in Oakland. My father got a job at the Naval Supply, and we lived in the projects on the next to the last street in Oakland, Willow Street, 14th and Willow. The projects aren't there now, but we lived in the projects. And during that time, TV was just recently invented, and I began to realize how poor we were. And so I decided I wanted a paper route with the Oakland Tribune so that I could help my parents out of poverty. And so my first paper route was on 7th Street, starting at 7th and Wood, right where Esther's Orbit Room is. I delivered papers to her place and Slim Jenkins, and I was only 11, but I could get in to deliver the papers, and I saw a whole lot.
That's totally.
During those times, we call it the Black Wall Street of Oakland. There were churches, theaters, the Lincoln Theater, my God, Slim Jenkins, plenty of churches, and you heard the blues playing all day and all night long, coming out of the clubs and stuff. And so we would party, the grown-ups would party all week, especially Friday and Saturday. And on Sunday morning, the storefront churches took over and rejoiced and asked God to forgive them for all the sins they committed over the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Henry, now your parents, both your parents worked?
No, my mother didn't work. She stayed at home and took care of us. At that time, she had 3 more children. And so she was a housewife and only my father worked at the Naval Supply. So he really didn't bring in a lot of money.
I see. But did your parents actually, were they guests of maybe Slim Jenkins' restaurant and Esther Darbaru?
Well, actually, my father not only worked at the Naval Supply, he also was a tailor. And what he would do when he got off work, he would get his little attaché case together with all kind of fabric samples. And then he would go through 7th Street and all around that area selling clothes to make ends meet. And I really feel that's where I got my inspiration to make clothes.
Yes, I believe so. Can you hear me clearly, Henry?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. So my question is that since your father had his side business, did you go along with your father down 7th Street when he visited certain people who he was actually sewing for? I mean, did he share some of his skills with you? Or is this something that you picked up as you got a lot older?
Well, I actually picked it up when I got a lot older, but I think it's because of being by his side a lot of times when he'd go on 7th Street, and I watched how he negotiated with people, and he was a great salesman, and I picked all of that stuff up not even realizing it.
I
Beautiful.
see. Now, do you recall, Henry, as a young man or young boy, do you recall
Hello?
Can't hear Vita.
I can't hear Vita.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, Vita, we can hear you.
Okay, my question was, when your father worked pretty much during the week and on Saturdays, on the weekend, I'm sure that there was some form of entertainment that your parents shared. As a young boy, do you recall what sort of attire that they would put on to go out in that nightlife on 7th Street? Do you recall that?
Okay, Henry, unmute yourself.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you hear my
Okay.
question, Henry? I can repeat it.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay.
I was getting ready to say, on the weekend, my father and mother made hot tamales, and he put the hot tamales in the back of his trunk and drove all up and down 7th Street selling tamales. And so he really didn't have a lot of time to go out, but I can tell you that was the only time Black people had a chance to express themselves, and dressing up was part of it. And I'm telling you, my father would make tailor-made suits and tailor-made suits for men and women. And they would dress up and get ready to hit 7th Street. It was our Broadway. Lots of noise and beautiful sounds and smells of alcohol, and looking back on it, it was a beautiful experience. I also remember the Pointer Sisters being down there, and
Yeah.
their mother was a preacher, their father was a preacher, and they would be on 7th Street preaching the gospel, and the Pointer Sisters would be singing behind them.
Wow.
Great, yes. And Terrible Tom, we call Terrible Tom West Oakland's honorary mayor. He would be
Yes.
down there performing, and I would dress him to perform at Slim Jenkins and Esther's Orbit Room, him and Aretha, before
Aretha
she becomes famous. Aretha Franklin. Terrible Tom has a
Yeah.
picture of him and Aretha singing at Slim Jenkins in clothes I made.
Oh.
Yeah, I meant to tell you, Vita. I'll get a copy of it and send it to you for the archives.
So you read my mind. That was my next question, Henry. You know me well. I was going to say, do you have those images? They need to be a part of your collection here.
Yeah.
Henry, do you recall any other Bay Area musicians and singers that appeared on 7th Street?
Lenny Williams and Larry Graham.
Larry Graham?
On Sunday mornings, we would sing at St. Matthew's and all of the churches up and down 7th Street. And Lenny was there, and Larry Graham. Oh, I mean, all of the greats were there. From Oakland, I'm talking about. Yes. Yes.
And today, I don't know whether you saw the jumpsuit. Well, I call it a jumpsuit. It's actually the 2-piece design that you made for Lenny. We actually had it on display so everyone today could see it.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Well, I had to bring it out along with Martha Reeves' gown. And so now that I have you and speaking, there are some beaded material. The material is beaded. Now I know that Martha Reeves, this was original design for Martha Reeves. Do you recall where Martha Reeves performed with the design that we have in your archives? Do you recall when she actually wore this particular design?
Yes, I do. And actually, I made half of it on the road in the hotel room. We were up in Washington and Oregon, traveling all through that area and actually all over the country. And I was there. I was right there. Wonderful experience. And
Yeah.
we're still together. I'm still shipping clothes to Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Yes. And also,
Now,
you got another.
I understand Frida Payne, she's related to you?
Frida Payne is my cousin through my mother's brother.
I see.
Yes. Frida and Sherry Payne is still with the Supremes.
The Supremes, yes.
Right. I made all their clothes. Can't believe it now that I look back on it.
Yes. So getting back to 7th Street. Now, with all that action going on in 7th Street and as Marco mentioned, it was downhill, especially after the earthquake. However, I'd like for you to share with us the 7th Street Walk of Fame. I know that that project was ongoing for many, many years. And I know that there were 2 phases. And the 7th Street Walk of Fame actually is, and correct me if I'm wrong, it is by the BART station. I did go by there when they were putting it together. So can you share with us the 7th Street Walk of Fame? I know that you have a star there and a brass plate there, Henry, and congratulations to that. And
Thank
I know
you.
that there are some entertainers that were on that first phase. Right now, I can't recall, maybe you can share with us some of the entertainers that are now on that 7th Street Walk of Fame. I think that putting together with the community and the city of Oakland, you were on part of that project. And for it to come together like it did, and with the research that was done, there are so many outstanding entertainers from the Bay Area and Oakland especially, that they had to go to a phase 2. So can you help me out with that? Give us some more information about the Walk of Fame on 7th Street.
Okay. Actually, to get to qualify to be on the Walk of Fame, you had to perform on 7th Street or worked on 7th Street. And so I actually qualified through my paper route at 11 years old with the Oakland Tribune. After that, I designed for Aretha Franklin, Larry Graham, Lenny Williams, and many others. Some of the stars that are down there now is Aretha, the Pointer Sisters, Sammy Davis Jr., Ray Charles, Lenny Williams, Etta James, Mary Wells of Motown, and so many others. Yeah, so many others.
So do you recall approximately how many brass plates are out there now? Is it over 30 or 40?
Okay, right in front of the BART station as you walk into BART, look to your right going west, and that's where the plaques start at. Bronze plaques start right there on the sidewalk, and I think Aretha Franklin is first. And after that come, who's after that? The Pointer Sisters, and me and Lenny Williams is shortly after that. And that goes about a block. And then the phase 2 go all the way down to Esther's Orbit Room, and that's where you're going to see a lot of the people down there. I can't think of some of the names right now. Everett and Jones is down there. Yeah. That's another place where I delivered papers. Amazing.
I see. Now, I know you host for many years the Hell Awards.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of the Bay Area entertainers that actually perform on 7th Street, they were invited to the Hell Awards. Probably not at the same time, but however, each of them were invited to be part of the Hell Awards. I know that you had a tour bus that would go every year from
Yeah.
Oakland to Los Angeles, Beverly Hills. So the people from the Bay Area could participate in the Hall Awards.
That's
Can you
right.
tell us a little bit about that experience?
That is, I hate to say was, but we haven't had a Hall Awards for 3 years. And you know why? Because of the pandemic and stuff like that. But I did it about 23 years. It was held at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And I started out just taking my family. And then as people heard about it, it eventually built up into taking tour buses. I took 2 buses one year to Hollywood and did a production down there over the weekend. And we ended up closing at the Hall Awards with and having dinner with Barry Gordy, Smokey Robinson, and Gloria Jones. You name it. Janie Bradford started the Hall Awards, and she hired me as her designer. And I got so busy hosting guests and filling tables, I had more tables than anybody there. Coming from Oakland, which was a big deal. I mean, you're going to take a bunch of people on a bus to Hollywood and don't have any big major problems. Oh, I was blessed and highly favored.
Yes.
And so I even took groups from Oakland to perform down there. The Mighty Passions, the Oaktown Passions, and who else did I take? So many other entertainers right here in the Bay Area got a chance to go to the Hall Awards with me and take pictures with the stars, and which they were very happy to take pictures and being interviewed and stuff. Great time. I hope that after the pandemic, maybe next year, we'll start back going again for at least one more year.
I see. Wasn't Lenny Williams, wasn't he given an award at one of those Hall Awards?
That was beautiful the way that went down. One year I whispered in Janie's ear, I said, I can get Lenny Williams for you. And I didn't think she paid any attention. And about 3 years later, she calls me up and says, can you get Lenny Williams for me? We want to honor him at the Hall Awards. And I said, oh, yeah. Got off the phone, called up Lenny. I was hoping he'd answer his phone, and he did. And I said, Lenny, call up Janie Bradford right now. They want to honor you, give you an award at the Motown Hall Awards. And he called her up, and the rest is history. He's been going ever since and playing golf with Smokey and bringing his family. And now he has a grandson. He calls me and says, I have a grandson who wants to be a designer. Would you train him for me? And I am working with Lenny Williams' grandson, who remind me of me and Lenny when we were young. Nobody tell us that we wasn't going to be a star. He's that same way. So I'm going to, all of the knowledge that I've acquired over the last 60 years, I'm going to pass it on to this kid, and he's going to take it to the next level.
That is
I'm really
so
grateful.
wonderful and amazing. Well, Henry, I thank you for being on the call today and sharing some wonderful times that people here. I'm not from Oakland or the Bay Area, but I've learned so much from you and others. And talking with you, I always learn something even more. You and I haven't talked in quite some time because of things, pandemic or whatever, but thank you so much. And right now, I'd like to open up if there's any questions for Henry. Please, this is a good time. Danielle, Marco, we have any questions in the chat?
I've got a question.
Okay.
Okay.
Henry, do you have any recollections of Sweets Ballroom in Oakland? I can't recall where it was, but it was somewhere in Oakland. It's called Sweets Ballroom.
Oh yeah. Where was Sweets Ballroom? It was like right around the corner from Jeffries. You know Jeffries, right? Jeffries in a
Yes.
circle right there at 1 block from Broadway at 14th Street. Right up in there. I can't remember the location. It's been 60 years. But yeah, Sweets Ballroom. I went there as soon as I turned 21. I saw Ike and Tina Turner there.
Wow.
Great experience. It never realized I'd be sawing for them later on in life.
Yeah.
Yep, I guess.
Any other questions, Marco, you see? So Henry,
Yes.
what's on the plans for the future of Henry Delton Williams, Designer to the Stars?
Well, you heard about Lunel. You know, she's got a gown in our collection, and you know she's doing great things, right?
Yes.
So I'm involved with her, and she's making movies with Eddie Murphy and everybody. She is on top of the world, and she used to host Soul Beat. Everybody in Oakland know about Soul Beat.
Yeah, Soul Beat. Yes.
Okay, and Lunel. That's where she got started, and she hosted the annual ball one year, and I made that gold gown for her that's in the exhibit at the African American Museum.
Yes,
and the rest is history.
Yes, it is definitely a part of your collection.
Yes. Yeah.
So are you, now, Henry, are you designing any at all? Have you sketched? Do you have any sketches of any your latest designs, or I mean, are you just pretty much kind of semi-retired from it?
I am actually semi-retired as far as doing a lot of stuff for the public, but I am definitely working on new designs. I got a lace dress coming out now called the Butterfly. And you saw an example of it on my cousin. You know that red lace gown she wore at the African American Museum before she passed?
Yes, yes.
That one. I'm getting ready to put a gold one on Lunel.
Oh, that's going to be fabulous. Fabulous.
Oh, it is. So I'm doing a collection in colors: purple lace, red lace, black lace, gold lace.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear that. And, you know, with your sketches, you're going to say those sketches for the African American Museum and Library, right?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, the original sketches.
Okay.
All
Beautiful.
right. Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, any other questions before I close it out? Okay. So Henry,
Yes.
it has been a wonderful afternoon going down memory lane with you. I thank you so much for sharing your insight on 7th Street.
Oh,
As
thank you
a
for
child
having me.
And as a young adult, and I do hope that sometime in the future when we get back to in-person, that you'll come and visit us because we miss you. The whole
I
staff,
will.
we miss you very much.
Yeah,
So
I
thank
miss
you.
coming too.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We love you. And
Okay,
so
love you
everyone
too.
today, thank you for chiming in and experiences this wonderful event, sharing with Henry Delta Williams, designer of the stars, as well as a Motown legend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Remember, we are open now, Mondays through Saturdays. Please come in and visit us. We'd love to have you here. Until then, stay safe, wear your mask, and stay healthy.
Thank you, everyone. Be safe.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.